What if I told you that reality as you know it is no longer the same, that time feels different, that your connections are shifting, and certain events seem to be synchronized in an almost magical way? This is not your imagination. It is a clear sign that you are already experiencing the fifth dimension. But stay with me. I'm not talking about something mystical or unreachable. I'm talking about a real shift in perception, something many people are already feeling, but don't know how to explain. You may have noticed that certain people have drifted away, that your intuition is sharper, or your relationship with nature has deepened. Small details, like feeling a pull toward more authenticity and inner peace. These are indicators that your consciousness is expanding. But how do you know for sure? How do you identify the signs that you are no longer bound by linear logic and time, that you're operating on a new level of consciousness? If you feel that something deep is changing inside you, stay here. I will show you 7 clear signs that you are already vibrating at a new energy frequency, and what it means for your life. Prepare yourself, because after understanding this, your view of the world will never be the same. Sign number 1, time feels distorted. Have you noticed how sometimes an entire day passes in a blink, while other hours seem to drag endlessly? This warped perception of time intensifies in the fifth dimension. Here, time becomes non-linear. The past, present, and future begin to intertwine, and events that previously seemed disconnected suddenly make sense in hindsight. It's as if the flow of the universe is reorganizing everything according to your new consciousness. The clock still marks the same hours, but inside you, there's a deep shift in perception. Many people report feeling that days are shorter, or that specific moments seem to repeat themselves like energy echoes. This happens because when your energy frequency rises, your mind moves beyond chronological time and operates through intuition instead. A practical example. You're immersed in a creative activity and suddenly realize hours have passed without you noticing. This sensation of absolute flow is an indication that your consciousness is aligning with this new reality. Another curious effect is synchronicity between thoughts and events. You think of someone, and minutes later, that person sends you a message. You dream of a situation, and the next day, something similar happens.
This occurs because in the fifth dimension, the timeline doesn't follow a fixed course. It responds to your vibration. Time is no longer a limiting factor. It becomes a reflection of your inner state. The more aligned you are with your truth, the more fluid it becomes.
If this shift in perception has been constant for you, it may be time to observe more carefully what your intuition is trying to reveal. After all, when time begins to behave differently, other aspects of reality also begin to transform. Sign number 2. Certain people no longer match your energy. Have you ever felt that suddenly some people just don't align with you anymore? Conversations that once flowed now feel forced. Even social gatherings lose their shine. This happens because by raising your energy frequency, you naturally move away from vibrations that no longer resonate with your consciousness. It's not arrogance, it's not lack of empathy, it's an energy realignment. Your vibrational field is changing, and old connections may no longer support this new flow. This social distancing can be painful at first, especially when it involves friends or even family members. Suddenly, topics that were once common lose meaning to you. While some are still stuck in old patterns, you feel a call to something bigger, something that transcends superficiality.
But listen, this doesn't mean you should abandon people you care about. Instead, it's an invitation to seek connections more aligned with your spiritual transformation.
A good example of this is when someone goes through a significant change in priorities. Imagine someone who always valued status and material possessions, but now finds inner peace in simple things, like a moment of silence in nature or a genuine conversation.
This type of change can cause confusion in old circles, and that's okay. This is a sign that your consciousness is expanding, and new people more aligned with this phase will begin to appear naturally.
So if you realize that some connections are dissolving, don't try to hold on to something that has already fulfilled its purpose. The universe operates in cycles, and each phase brings new encounters, new synchronicities, and new opportunities for growth. And speaking of noticeable changes, you may have noticed another curious phenomenon lately. Sign number 3. Your intuition becomes undeniable. Do you know that moment when you feel something will happen even before any evidence appears? Or when a decision simply feels right without any logical explanation? Yeah, this is no coincidence. It's your intuition becoming stronger. As your energy frequency rises, your consciousness expands, and traditional logic gives way to a deeper connection with the flow of the universe. What once seemed like a mere guess now manifests as an unshakable certainty. Many people begin to notice this when they have spontaneous premonitions that come true. You may be driving and out of nowhere feel an impulse to change routes, then discover there was an accident on the original path.
Or you feel strange energy when meeting someone, and later realize that person wasn't trustworthy.
These small manifestations show that your perception is beyond the five senses. You are accessing information that doesn't come from the rational mind, but from your expanded consciousness. If you want to strengthen this intuition, practice listening more and thinking less. Meditation, silence, and time in nature help clear mental interference and capture more subtle signals. Another powerful practice is intuitive journaling. Write down sensations and thoughts that arise out of nowhere, and over time, see which ones come true. You'll notice patterns, and you'll start to trust this inner compass. After all, intuition is not magical. It's a muscle that can be trained, and the more you align with this expanded perception, the more changes occur in your physical body. Sign number 4. Strange physical symptoms appear. Have you felt some unusual symptoms lately? Maybe pressure in your head, or a different kind of tingling. Your body is a direct reflection of your energy frequency. As your consciousness expands, it needs to adjust to support this new vibration. And that's where physical symptoms enter. Head pressure, tingling, a sensation of weight, or even sudden fatigue. Often these signs are confused with something negative, but they actually indicate a deep energy realignment. Your nervous system is recalibrating to operate at a new frequency, more connected to the fifth dimension. These sensations can appear suddenly and disappear just as fast. Some people report ringing in the ears, changes in sleep cycles, or even a different appetite. This is because your body is adapting to a new energy flow. Imagine an electrical device working on a higher voltage. It needs adjustments so it doesn't overload. Your body does the same, releasing emotional and physical toxins to get into balance. This is why practices like intense hydration, light eating, and contact with nature can help in this process. If you've felt these symptoms, try incorporating small changes into your routine. Deep breathing meditations help regulate energy, while baths with coarse salt help discharge vibrational excesses. Some people benefit from using crystals like amethyst or clear quartz, which help stabilize energy frequency. Small adjustments make a big difference in your body's adaptation to this new vibration. And as these physical changes happen, something curious also begins to occur. Your priorities begin to transform.
Sign number 5. What once mattered no longer does.
Suddenly, what once seemed so important begins to lose its shine. Status, material goods, external recognition, all of this carries less weight. On the other hand, inner peace, authenticity, and life purpose become essential. This shift in perception doesn't happen overnight, but it slowly settles until you realize you're seeking a different kind of fulfillment, something that comes from within, not what the external world imposes. Many people experience this as an internal calling. Perhaps that highly paid job that drains your energy no longer seems so attractive, or certain social obligations begin to sound empty. You feel a growing desire to invest time in what really makes sense to your soul. And this can range from exploring a new hobby to completely changing your professional career. The important thing is to realize that this change is not a loss, but an energy realignment with your truth. If you want to better understand what your new priorities are, a good practice is the authenticity journal. For a week, write down what brings you genuine satisfaction and what feels like pure obligation.
At the end, analyze the patterns. Where does your energy flow naturally? What inspires you?
Often the answers are already within you, but they need to be brought to consciousness.
Small adjustments in everyday life make a difference. Replacing moments of empty distraction with activities that nourish your soul can be a good start.
And as you align with this new way of living, something fascinating happens. Your connection with nature intensifies. Sign number 6. Nature becomes a spiritual experience.
Suddenly the wind seems to speak. The song of birds sounds like a message, and being outdoors becomes a deeply spiritual experience.
Have you noticed how nature seems to respond when you are more conscious? The sound of leaves in the wind,
the brightness of the sun between the clouds, the song of the birds. Everything seems to gain a deeper meaning.
This connection is not an illusion, it's a reflection of your spiritual transformation. The more your consciousness expands, the more you realize that nature is not just scenery, but a living, pulsating entity full of subtle messages. Many people report feeling a kind of communication with nature. Suddenly, an animal crosses your path at the exact moment you're reflecting on something important, or a butterfly lands near you when you're going through a moment of transition. These are not simple coincidences. They are synchronicities that show you are in tune with the flow of the universe.
Trees, rivers, mountains, everything carries its own energy frequency. And when you open to this connection, you feel indescribable inner peace.
If you want to deepen this relationship, try spending more time outdoors, barefoot, absorbing the energy of the earth. Grounding, walking barefoot on earth or grass, helps balance the energy field and relieve tensions.
Another powerful practice is to meditate while observing the movement of clouds or the fluidity of a river. Nature teaches about non-linear time, detachment, and harmony. Small rituals, like mentally thanking the sunset or planting something with intention. These also strengthen this connection. And the more you align with this energy, the more you realize that life begins to deliver signs. Coincidences increase. The right meetings happen at the exact time, and everything seems to flow almost magically. Sign number 7, synchronicities multiply.
Do you know when you think of someone and suddenly that person calls you? Or when reflecting on a decision and a clear signal appears, like a phrase on a billboard, or a song that plays at the exact moment? This is not mere chance, it's the universe talking to you. When your energy frequency aligns with the 5th dimension, synchronicities become increasingly frequent. Everything starts to fit almost magically, and you realize that life has a natural flow far beyond the control of the rational mind.
The more conscious you become, the more you realize that these coincidences are subtle messages from the universe.
It can be a book that comes to you at the right time, an unexpected conversation that brings exactly the answer you needed, or even a chance meeting that completely changes your path. These synchronicities are like a cosmic GPS, guiding you in the right direction.
But to see them, you must be present, attentive, and receptive.
If you want to increase these manifestations, practice what I call active observation. Instead of spending the day on autopilot, start noticing the small signals around you.
Keep a synchronicity journal and see how certain patterns repeat.
Ask the universe for an answer and be aware over the next few days. It can come in unexpected ways. Also, trust your intuition more. Often the answer is already within you, and synchronicity only confirms what your soul already knows. And when you really start to live in this flow, everything transforms. Opportunities appear, the right connections happen, and the feeling of being on the right path becomes stronger and stronger.
So, what now?
Now that you recognize these signs, the big question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you ignore it and continue living on autopilot? Or will you embrace this spiritual transformation and align your life with the flow of the universe?
The 5th dimension is not a destination, it's a state of consciousness.
And the more you allow yourself to live at this high energy frequency, the more synchronicities, intuitions, and positive changes you experience. Look at your life now. Where have you resisted change? What has your intuition been trying to show you that you insist on ignoring? If time feels different, your connections are changing, your perception of the world is shifting. Maybe it's time to trust what your soul already knows. Free yourself from fear, embrace authenticity, and allow yourself to flow with this new reality.
And if you want to keep exploring this universe and deepening your understanding of expanded consciousness, be sure to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Here you will always find content that will help you realign your energy and live in harmony with this new frequency.
After all, nothing happens by chance. If you got here, it's because this message needed to reach you.